I'm Dave Holland, and it's a pleasure to be here to speak to you about the Windrush Suite. It's a new musical composition that's been written and arranged by Renell Shaw, and the commissioning of the suite was initiated by Kathy Ann Hingwan, who's the general manager of the Vortex Jazz Club in London. The commission is also supported by the PRS Foundation. For the last few years, Kathy Ann's been curating a series at the club called The Shape of Jazz to Come. And Renell was invited to take part in that series and did a really great concert. It showcased his talent, his musical vision, and his ability to bring all that together into a very meaningful performance. June 22nd is Windrush Day, and it's the day that the UK honors the Caribbean community that began arriving there shortly after World War II. As a member of that community, Kathy Ann wanted to create an event that would pay homage to that generation in a musical portrait of their experiences. She discussed her idea with Renell and asked him if he'd accept a commission to write the music. He gladly accepted and quickly went to work writing the music, and the result is the Windrush Suite.
Most people who came here during that time, they had a plan because they've never traveled before. Some of us, you know. But you see the people who've been here and back, and you listen to what they're saying. Some rubbish and some half make sense, and you know, because people go on and on and on, and you don't get to the root of the truth. So most people like myself say, oh, I think I'll spend a couple of years and go back, you know. But the vision you had, come here and spend a few years, you wanted to work to make some good money that we think was available in the workplace. But it was not. The wages were still puny, and I think from the treasury point of view, even today they work it out. Labor, how much you get how much per hour for a laborer, how much you get for a semi-skilled, how much you get for a top-skilled man, and that still exists today. And if you have a family, they got to eat.
The money's coming out quicker than it's coming in.
Oh yes, precisely. The history passes so quick that some of the things you don't even remember, man. See, and the younger generation need to know these things because you have people taking the piss out of you. Think more or less you just come to beg, you know? You realize that you've been working and you've been working for pittance really all the years because you never get a top job. lot of discrimination against people coming in this country. You know, no blacks, no dogs. Some people had that sign on their doors. It's a diplomatic scene now, but it's there. You see, the only time they might have a little change of mind or heart is if they themselves meet one of the opposite people who they're trying to discriminate against and discover them for themselves that they are as intelligent, if not more, then it opened up a new chapter in their head. Your head, your head, your head, your head, your head, your head, your head. Granddad come up after.
Right.
No, me never be granddad here. Young granddad was friends from back home. And then granddad come up.
So he follow you?
Yes, he follow me. He wouldn't stay out there not follow me. Me never know say I will come. When we say here, he say in right and say I come. Me say what the hell? And then he come and then after his hands to come. And all we actually always pack up to one room, you know, one time. God, kingdom. She always in one room, one bed of sleep. You have to do what you have to do to survive. And we did, I did. Yes, man, Iris come and eat. She never stopped. Great to come on. We were good friends up there, you know.
Yeah.
We used to work together and so on. But she come away and she want me to come and dance for till. And she never stopped writing and say, oh, must come, you must come.
Plane or a boat?
Oh, plane, man. Boat? Ooh. Me didn't travel from boat, so me no like the boat thing at all. me don't have wings, but me prefer the flies. Not the, no, son, not on the water at all. Me not travel, no. Me prefer the flies. That was just because I could sew. So I say that I just want them to put me around the machine and I can prove to them that I can do it. And that's why I go in there and get a job. Me go on the machine and turn up the machine and start the off and give me, and we just take off from there. We just say in my mind, if we go in a place, man, and they just put me on the machine. That's all I want. Just put me on the machine. And that's why they put me on a machine and give me a thing, man, and they just take off from there. You know, have to show me at one time, them have to show me it and gone. I was an independent person, man. Oh, I'm with you. What do you think? You think me coming a group of people, me pay me one trip come to England? What do you think? What, you think me, you think of people, somebody will pay me here and come here? I paid my fare, come to England. I go and seek a job and get a job. I take her to a nanny and she stayed here until I come home. I pick her up. So that's the only way we could do it. to be diplomatic. A lot of people try to pump opinion. You're playing your guitar and you sound good, and they want to chat. The conversation don't want to end. Whatever they want to find out about you or know you as a person, everything coming at you, you know? So you got to be diplomatic. You only let go as much as you want to.
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, man.
We don't even sleep no more. We ain't even trying to make peace no more. And if you had beef with the law, there's a whole lot of history here from before. Like when I speak to the first of the man, them tell me about beats in the back of a van, then tell me about teeth trying to deal them a hand, guaranteed to lose with no plan. Damn, we had enough. God save the queen. What about the people underneath? Tell me about guns. It's crazy to believe that the gangs of today are perceived as a hoodie with a lean. You fit the profile but relax. They feral with sterilized facts and still don't like blacks. But they can't say it like that. Institutionalize their ways and sit back, they on track.
expecting it to be as big as it was. I'm just thinking about the original Carnival people up in Ladbroke Grove. Remember Mangrove? Some people, yeah, they used to go away for the weekend so that they weren't part of the noise and stuff. They probably didn't even expect it to be like that. I mean, some people may have stayed around, but I know when I was still going younger, like people were like, used to pack up and go away for the weekend.
tell you do just what me say. Buy your home. That's what you must do. Me advise you and me advise Celine just the same thing. So you have to be clever. Know what you're doing before you do it.
The Windrush has become shorthand for a long story that is far from over. On June the 22nd, 1948, a former troop carrier, the HMT Empire Windrush, arrived at Tilbury Docks in Essex with 498 West Indians aboard, the passengers coming mostly from Jamaica, which was still a British colony. The event is pivotal in modern-day British history because it is largely recognised as the start of both mass migration and a decisive step towards the post-war reconstruction of the UK, as many of the new arrivals found employment in both public transport and the National Health Service. However, the full spectrum of Caribbean talent was represented by the Windrush, from carpenters and teachers to singers and musicians. The sight of Calypso legend Lord Kitchener performing "London is the place for me as the ship docked" is an iconic moment, but of no less importance is the fact that among the noted artists who travelled with him were vocalist Mona Baptiste and jazz trumpeter Dizzy Reese. Their presence in Britain led to lasting and uplifting cultural transformation, an enrichment of mainstream society that is easily identifiable today in anything from high-profile entertainment such as Carnival to the vocabulary and speech rhythms of multicultural communities found all over the land. Windrush was a wind of change for us, as in all of us, regardless of ethnicity, in the most inclusive way. The decision by the British government to deport members of the Windrush generation in 2017 was nothing less than shameful and deeply distressing for Black Britons who were born long after those fearless migrants who came in 1948. An integral part of our heritage was under attack. There could be no better way to fight back than through music. Renell Shaw's Windrush Suite is a celebration of the achievements of those who gave so much when they themselves had so little to their names. It is a thrilling portrait in sound of people with staying power, courage, and above all the conviction that they had a place in a world of their own making.
out of many come one, out of many, come one, out of many 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 come one. When I think say we did done, but we really just come.
Until the philosophy which holds one man superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Until there are no longer first class and second class citizens of any nation. Until the color of a man's skin is no more significant than the color of his eyes. Until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regard to race. Until that day, the dream of lasting peace and world citizenship and the rule of international morality will remain but a fleeting illusion to be pursued but never attained. Until the ignoble and unhappy regimes that hold our brothers in Angola, in Mozambique and in South Africa in subhuman bondage have been toppled and destroyed. Until bigotry and prejudice and malicious and inhuman self-interest has been replaced by understanding and tolerance and goodwill. Until all Africans stand and speak as free beings, equally the eyes of all men as they are in the eyes of heaven. Until that day, the African continent will not know peace. We Africans will fight, if necessary, and we know that we shall win, as we are confident in the victory of good over evil.
It was very, very hard in the 60s for black families who were then primarily Caribbean to get anywhere to live. And they ended up in the worst accommodation and the most expensive accommodation. Back in those days, there perhaps wasn't enough infrastructure in the community to have organised childminders, so they'd end up leaving their children with white childminders, and then pick the child up at the end of the day and find that the baby's nappy hadn't been changed all day, the child hadn't been fed properly all day, or even worse, the child had been abused. So a number of parents actually took to sending their children back home to the Caribbean, and that's what my parents did. The aunt that had raised me in Barbados was a teacher. I was a bright child. She raised me with extra tuition at home. And I had a kind of glowing reference from the head teacher of my school in Barbados. But the first thing they did when I got to school in England, despite what I came with, was to put me in what was colloquially known back then as the dunces class. But it was all about that, making that immediate assumption. Black person from black country, well, got to be below our standards. I was in my sort of mid to late teens, and issues about what was then called the National Front, nowadays ENP, EDL. I was a teenager by then, perhaps seen as more of a threat. There were more incidents, racial abuse, being chased. I remember a conversation with a guy who was from the older generation, telling me more stories about the 60s. Guys used to get together to form protection squads, and out of all the different Caribbean islands, the Jamaicans were the ones to know. They were the largest single group, but they were also the most prepared to defend themselves physically. One thing I did find when I then went to university, going to talks and meetings and events and just general conversations in those forums meant that I then began to get armed, to be equipped with the knowledge to be able to respond. And it is interesting looking back and seeing how the protests and the reasons of the protests that are happening now are the same protests and the same reasons that I was doing almost 40 years ago. The cycle seems to be repeated. There is an uprising, some warm words are said, few concessions are made, people calm down, then the old atrocities return, and then a new generation gets upset, and we go round that again. It is literally the same thing. 60 years ago when Martin Luther King was protesting, Paul Stevenson in Bristol, the same thing as we had in the 80s with the uprisings then. Same thing as we probably had round about 2000. I entirely agree with those that say, well, there's been lots of reform over the past 20, 40, 60, 80 years. Maybe it's time to do something that's much more around revolution.
We're recording Echo in the Bones, and that is taking a historical account on things that have happened throughout Black history, correctly known as African history, and we are looking into different time periods. So I'm going to be highlighting things that have happened, be it slavery or the presence of Africans within the era of the Tudors or the World War, etc., etc. But I've chosen not to do it in a way that feels like I'm just relaying facts. I wanted to do it from an angle that hopefully allows the listener to create questions of their own. I didn't want to just go, here you go, this is what happened. It's, here's an idea of some of the things that were going on. Why do you think this isn't in the history books we read today? So the aim is to create a body of work that gets people thinking, that does make them want to question elements of how history is taught to us through music and lyrics and the instrumentalists and their solos and how they improvise by responding to the work that's coming. And we'll see what happens, innit? We'll see what happens. There's dope musicians in the room, so whatever we create is going to be a vibe. That much I know.
I share, we no pray. Take from the source and they want a piece. But no, you go away. Tell them I say, we see the games you go play. We see from back in the day. We no send them land and them. Try show paper. I know your paper. I don't care now, savior. Now I don't turn entertainer. Making me low. Who you free? No, think you be big man. You make tickets to sell the free man. Cause God says it's okay. Sell me my freedom. How you gon' sell me my freedom? Like raw. See you, I see you take souls. See through, I see through. My people, they know. Monsters with power, monster gold. Sell me my freedom. How you gon' sell me my freedom? Like raw. See you, I see you take souls. See through, I see through. My people, they know. Tell them papa, tell them mama, tell them what? Tell them we dance, tell them we drum. Don't tell them we talk. No. Let them be cake, make them a stage. Who you think plays? Becky and James, we lay the plays. Now we know the trades, we know the trades. So tell them we dance, tell them we drum. Don't tell them we talk. No. Let them be cake, make them a stage. Who you think plays? Becky and James, we lay the plays. Now we know the trade, we know the trade. Hey, I say he go pay, taking me far from safe. No home sailing for days. Tell them I say, we free now, we no be slaves. We see raw every day. We no send them stand and they try play savior. Where I don't know your savior, I don't care now. Slaver, now we know your name forever. Breaking me no to you, I be low. You be big man, clever, you make the big plans. Cause God says it's okay.
Lord, I've seen how they treat me, and it's wrong. I don't know how it's okay now, 'cause every day you see what you do. Do you feel like you know who I am? You're wrong.
It's crazy how you're gonna treat we like a maybe. Like we just turned up to the race, but we can't run cause you're saving a space for your mate. Are you in the right place? Just asking. Cause we're here for a bit, not passing. More than a thread from the rope of your past in. We've been weaving ourselves up a basket full of food and soul and planting, full of Tudors, light and dark skin, not slaves but trade and marching. Tell the right history and I keep finding me popping up in the ting like swear down. School taught a couple things but still, all the ones who look like me got killed. Did prison or broke or ill, so we're left with both chains and cotton fields hopeless. Thinking of material progress and homeless. Everything we try is a no thanks, I notice. Everybody wanna be bold when we protest. Everybody matters, yes, but right now everybody isn't the subject. Cause right now when I'm on the streets I'm a suspect. The dumbness, colloquial, the dumbness. Cause we were in the war when you had beef with your cousins. We've been teaching music to the people for hundreds and hundreds, hundreds and hundreds. But you don't show no love within your classical concert. So we did not believe we could do classical concerts. And I ain't even finishing this. I'm tired of the chat, what you doing to win? I'm tired of the claps when the silence is king. I'm gonna play a game that I know from within. Echo, echo. lotus flower grows from deep down in the mud, far away from any understanding of sunlight. But even in the darkness, it keeps rising. It keeps moving in a direction guided by its instinct. And eventually, the lotus reaches the light, becoming the most beautiful flower of all. So even when your roots have been pulled up and dragged through the mud and dirty waters, remember, you are still capable of being the most beautiful flower of all. So don't allow anybody to clip you. Strengthen your roots, stand up, and know yourself. We see you.
Renell's really good at making space for people, and he's good at putting people together and giving you space to put your own twist on things. I think that's really important, is that he's not precious, which, you know, when we're talking about what we're talking about in the lyrics, and it's such a serious subject, to still be able to give people enough freedom to make it their own is something that's really important. So it's been really enjoyable.
In this particular instance, obviously the sounds of marimbas and things that, you know, the lineage of that, or the lineage of that, is coming from the African diaspora. So, you know, I'll hear it in different contexts, in wherever it's placed within the music. And I also knew that when Renell would write, he would write specifically for me, rather than just a marimba player or a vibraphone player, because there's that familiarity of how I will approach the music. So I know what he's saying within that, and I'm trying to convey that as best as possible.
For me, it's really interesting as a person of dual heritage. I can still really relate to it. And I think that's what's important, is the lyrics are clear and they're to the point, but they also leave loads of room for interpretation.
What's fascinating for me and fantastic is that Renell is able to speak with his grandparents and to have those stories firsthand that he can then interpret in his world and in his way as well, using their voices. For us, when we're playing the music and we're listening to the music, for me it's very easy to kind of join with that, because the sound is the sound that I've grown up with, of my own parents and and family and wider family and everything else. So these stories and these sounds and the rhythms that they use to speak as well, because they do speak very rhythmically as well. So if you look at all of that, there's something amazing about it, and that 2-3 generations down, it's been expanded upon, like incredible composers like Renell.
The mixture between anger, pain, and release.
For me, means that we did our job. My generation, we did the job that we were supposed to do, and it's now been taken on further, and it will be expressed with all the newer things that you can use as well to do that.
To belong and to feel carefree. That's my favourite lyric, because it's not asking for much, is it? It's not asking for much to feel like you belong as a part of something and that you can be yourself. Mm-hmm. I think that for me is like what I've taken as the main message from this. There's educational parts and there's parts that are angry and there's parts that are sad, but ultimately for me it's like, I want to belong, I want to feel carefree, and I should be allowed to do so. I think everybody should be allowed to have that privilege, or it's not even a privilege, it's a necessity. So that for me is really important. And then also the last song is my favourite, Echo, number 4, where I struggled singing this, but the lyrics are great, where it's like you ever have to tell yourself to just chin up, let's go, And I feel like it's interesting that we finished on that, because for me, it's kind of sad in a way, because it's like that's what we constantly have to do, I guess, right? It's like, okay, cool, I don't belong here, or I don't feel like I feel uncomfortable and I'm not happy and all these emotions, but okay, I rise above. And yes, there's strength in doing that, but it's also, it gives us, it doesn't allow us to be vulnerable. And I think as people, it's really important to be vulnerable.
I think that history is happening now, and history is everybody's. And that it's obviously we're looking back to see where we're going forward, but we're also looking back to kind of reflect of how we are now and how we respond.
And he took his time to explain what the project was about and how he felt when he wrote each part. And yeah, I think that's really special. Not a lot of composers take the time to do that.
I also like the idea that many of the people involved I've seen grow up as well, and that for me is fantastic. I get a lot of pleasure out of seeing how they grow and what they do as artists and what they do as people as well.
This body carries love.
This body carries pain.
These eyes see the future.
This blood knows the past.
This hair knows pride.
These hands know work.
This skin knows heat.
These feet know roads.
This voice is loud.
This chest is proud.
These shoulders know weight.
This mind knows.
try again. You see? So, never give up.
I've seen the darkest of days, and every time I run I get chased. I shouldn't have to fight for my peace, but peace would be nicer than peace, cause I'm living where the sky's always grey. Ciao, the birds don't sing in the morning, dying every time that I breathe, cause every conversation's so boring. Yeah, anybody feel like this? No, just me, I guess. Yeah. Don't wanna sound like a mess, so I smile for the team with my chest to impress. I'm the best place of bet, I'm a gamble, it's life. Ciao, all on the table, the price, yeah. Double the cash off the life, then none of the cash off the life. Maxi!
something from you that all the rest of chickens can see, that it is better to use my eggs than to use my flesh. If I'm a chicken in a farmyard, and I see when Christmas comes, they put a lot of my little chicken that I grew up with in the oven for Christmas. I'm going to be worried, man.